Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Coach Rod is Back Thursday, December 12th, 2024. This program starts now. Football! It is amazing. We're so lucky that we get to talk about it every single day. Thank you so much for joining us. It is a glorious Thursday here because, yes, it is official. Rich Rodriguez is back to be the coach of the West Virginia Mountaineers. Yeah. Obviously, this comes after a very long interview process that Ren Baker conducted, the athletic director for West Virginia, span against, 15 different coaching candidates, got Zoom calls, and then follow-up meetings took place. And inevitably, to go forward to where we want to be, we had to go back to when we were the best we ever were. And it's been nice the last couple weeks here to kind of catch up, chit-chat with old teammates, catch up with Coach Rod a little bit, talk to Ren Baker about my experiences as a player for Coach Rod, because that's obviously Ren doing his due diligence, which he did. No stone was left unturned in his coaching search because he understands that his entire legacy revolves around whether or not he can make this West Virginia football team a winner again, can make them relevant again. And he thought that the best choice, and he wasn't the only one, there's a lot of us. Basically, everybody that's ever played for this guy has come out and said, if Rich Rod was able to get the capability to be in a P4 program and have resources behind him, back in a state that he knows better than anybody else because he's born there, grew up there, played college there, his family still lives there. If there's anybody that could come and do a better job coaching than Rich Rodriguez, we'd like to see it. And he also has quite a motivation. He wants to go back and make it right. And I think that was the most evident thing of the conversations that I had with him. And obviously there was a lot of people that I am a big fan of that reached out that wanted the coaching job at West Virginia. It was a very desirable position. People from all across the country at a lot of different schools, younger and older, wanted to get into Morgantown because they understand that a sleeping giant is in those beautiful hills of West Virginia. That decision to put Russ in was one that was a big deal. And you had to come out actually because it was getting so loud and say, I had to make an executive decision and put Russell Wilson in. I wanted to see if our team could get to the next level. How have you felt about that decision? Obviously, it's worked out very well. And what did Russell show you before he got on the field that made you believe, Russ is still the guy that can cook on the field?
From my perspective, it wasn't as controversial a decision or as difficult a decision as maybe from the outside, but I get the benefit of watching him operate every day, not only in terms of his throwing talents and throwing the football, but just the, unofficial things or the intangible qualities that he brings to the role. He's got over a decade of experience, man. He has a way with his teammates that's inspiring, informational. He brings people together. He brings the best out in people. And really, man, just working every day in close quarters and practicing and meeting and all of those things were a component of the decision. And so from that standpoint, I just knew that not only he had the talents to do it, but I thought he had the capabilities of maybe bringing out the best in the individuals that he worked with. And so, it's still very much ongoing. I'm excited about the trajectory of it, man. But you know how it is. We're a few days away from stepping in another big stadium, and he'll get an opportunity to prove it again.
Yeah, what have you done for me lately is the business that you're in. The business is winning. If you don't do that, nobody cares about anything, it seems. Russell Wilson told Bill Cowher, which was pretty cool to watch, in an interview that you guys were the first ones to call him whenever everything at Denver took place. It was like 7:30 a.m. I got a call. It was the Con artist, shout out to Omar Khan, and Mike Tomlin. Had he been one of the guys that you've just been a fan of from afar? Because I know you got a lot of those guys around the league. Obviously, everybody has respect for you. But why was that your first call, and why do you think you guys were the first ones to call Russ?
First of all, man, I've just been an appreciator of his work for over a decade, his talents, the way he plays the position, his competitive spirit, his resume, all of those things were attractive to us. And you couple that with a guy that experienced some personal or short-term difficulties, man. He had something to prove. That was attractive to me as well, to be quite honest with you, man. A guy looking for a bounce back, a guy working with an edge, a guy that knows he can do it and just needs an opportunity to to show that again.
How do you feel about kind of the entire thing with Bill Belichick heading to college? Obviously, people are kind of surprised by it, especially with his age. But do you think that is something that, in 2-3 years, we're just going to see the Pittsburgh Steelers full of North Carolina Tar Heel players just because it will become sort of like a pipeline to the NFL with Bill?
I think that's a real possibility. I think it is awesome. I had a couple of sons that played college football. I would have sent my boys down there to play for them in a hurry. They're going to be instructed. That their football intellect is going to be developed, the skills relative to the positions that they play. I think he's going to be great for that place and great for college football.
Yeah, and West Virginia, too. Yeah, West Virginia, too. Yeah, going. Hey, we appreciate the hell out of you, Coach. Good luck the rest of the way. You're the man.
My brother. Take care, man. Best of luck to you guys.
Yes, sir. You too, ladies and gentlemen. Head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, Coach.
He's the man.
Yeah, the man.
The man.
Mm-hmm.
He always, any Pittsburgh guy in the league, Tomlin tried to come and say hello because I feel like Tomlin felt like he was representing the Steelers organization. Mm-hmm. So he'd always say, we're proud of you, man. That was, legitimately how, and I would take it as, a massive, yeah, thank you, man. It's really nice. And then he would drop the old and cheap line on me. I said, hey, that ain't never going to happen.
Your workout, too, right?
Yeah, he led me through my senior pro day workout or whatever. And I think if he didn't do that, I don't know how many teams would have came down because the indoor facility was where the workout was happening. Everybody's running their 40s, jumping. Pat threw in there. People were doing all their workouts. So the kicking, though, had to be outside because the roof wasn't high enough. You know
sure,
what I mean?
Sure.
You know what I mean? They didn't have enough stories in that indoor. Nobody knew who the hell he was. Mm-mm. And he was 34.
Yeah.
He was 34 years old.
That's a history, though. I went researching it this morning. Cower was in his 30s. They went back and listed 4, 5, 6 head coaches there. I know they've only had Noel was in his 30s, so that was their MO.
It's nuts.
Where's he? Defense at the Vikings.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, and he gets hired.
So he was college for a couple years.
Really?
Played at William and Mary, and then he was at Memphis for a year, wide receivers coach. Then went to Arkansas State, and I think Keith Butler, who was the longtime coordinator there, they were tied. I think they were together at Arkansas State, and it was just a fast track, and then got hired as the D-back coach at Tampa.
Yeah, he was under Dungy.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
He keeps the same energy, too, seemingly always.
We'd see him at the owners' meetings, every year, and it's the same dude, just the coolest MFer walking around. And his kids were younger, his sons were young. I mean, I want to be Mike T.
Yeah, it would be nice to be Mike Tomlin.
Can I do it for a day?
It would be nice to be Mike Tomlin, except for in those years where he wins 10 games, but for some reason gets a bad seed in the playoffs and has to play somebody who's really good and then loses, and then it's another first-round loss for Mike Tomlin.
Whoa.
Who's that?
You see that? That's the Yinzers. They get real loud.
Yeah.
And I like to let the Yinzers know I appreciate why you're that loud, but grass isn't always – sometimes there's no grass on the other side.
Usually not.
Yeah.
First order of business, Lombo, I know you got a lot on your plate and a lot to do. Is the first order of business, is it evaluating the team that you have now, the players that are coming back? I know we have roster reductions coming in NCAA football, right? It's going to be 105 players, I've heard. Where do you start? Where do you go from here as far as, the evaluation process? I know the portal's open. And then lastly, from a coaching staff perspective, I know there's guys there. We know guys that were on the Mac Brown staff. Will this be a combination of NFL guys that have worked for Coach before and college coaches, guys that have been on the road, recruiting type guys?
Well, I think the first thing we're going to do is scout inside out, and we're going to grade every player that's on the team to make sure we know what we're looking for. There's no sense in going into the open market if you don't know what you're looking for. Any road will lead you down if you don't know where you're going. So I think that's the most important thing. The second most important thing is we're going to make sure we have a quarterback, right? We're going to make sure that there's quarterback and quarterback competition on this team, and we repair the offensive line. And the coaching staff is going to come down to Bill deciding on what coach fits. Building a coaching staff is like putting together a rock and roll band. You need the right people at the right playing the right instruments and all working together in concert. So I think that's what's going to happen. But I got to tell you, Pat, I am really excited to be here. My wife Millie's with me. I'm excited to be doing this. I can't wait. I mean, this campus just electrifies you. Last week I was with you guys. I saw you with my highlight of last week was I got to see you guys. I didn't see you in but I got a picture with the duck. I was so happy I got a picture with the duck. You know,
the duck
and
is
I just
phenomenal.
felt the vibe of college football.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. I love the Oregon Duck. Go Ducks! So I'm really excited about this. I'm excited about this point of my career where I think all the years that I've spent on leadership, all the years that I've spent learning, I think it can come to fruition here at the University of North Carolina.
We can't wait to watch. We're so thankful for you and everything you've done for our program. We will certainly be here. Anything you need from us, you're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, the general manager.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you too. Michael Lombardi.
Yeah, Lombo.
The GM. Then Bill Belichik, AJ. How do you feel about him officially doing that? And Michael Lombardi, friend of the program, being the general manager down there.
I mean, I think it's awesome. When you listen to how they're laying it out and how you hear Lombardi, you can tell how excited the dude is to be back in there and working with Bill. 5 years, $50 million. That's the first I'm hearing of that. That's a nice little deal.
$10 million per. I guess it was originally reported as 3 years, $30 million. Then the journalist that reported that said, hey, journalistic standards, got to correct it. It's actually 5 years, $50 million. Still got it right for 10 per. Didn't know it was for 5. Yeah. Thought it was for 3. So we appreciate said journalist. Forget the name. I do apologize.
Journal?
Nobody's got it in here.
Nope. No,
I looked around a room that did not have it here.
A lot of blank faces.
But I would like to let him know I appreciate what he did, reporting, then correcting himself to get it accurate. Yeah, but 5 year, $50 million is what has been allegedly reported on the second go-round. $10 million a year, head coach at North Carolina.
Whew. He's got a presser today, correct?
Yeah, 2 o'clock, it goes off. I believe Marty Smith is actually live from down there. We could probably cold call him here.
Hell yeah.
Let's cold call Marty Smith, see if he's down there.
Is he going to go old school, normal Bill? Remember in his last time he was on the show last week, didn't he say, I got to get my press conference
media
aura back or something?
Yeah, so that's a whole nother conversation. College, you can't do that, right? That ain't, because you're always recruiting?
Yeah.
You can't.
You're going to be who you are. He can't go down there.
Part of his aura. I don't know, though.
Imagine that local media going from Mac Brown, who
they're crapping their pants right now. Can you imagine those guys? Oh my God!
Some student reporter.
Oh yeah.
Why did we do that?
I would hope the student reporters he would understand, like, hey, I'm shaping the future of this too. You know, so he might actually.
Those guys.
Marty, it looks wonderful. Where are you guys at? Theater, press room, and what are the expectations here? Bill's going to lay out why he's doing that, or how does this expected to go?
Yeah, there's a lot of things I want to know, Pat. I mean, I want to know why this job is right for him right now. I would love to know how he'll define success at the University of North Carolina. I would love to know what role his son's coaching future might have played in this decision. I would love to know what he learned in his year off that he might bring to this. I want to know how he believes his historic NFL success might translate into his goals at the University of North Carolina. There's so many intriguing aspects of this decision for Coach Belichick, and this is massive for the University of North Carolina, boys. I mean, this is a basketball school, period, end of paragraph. And for them to have been able to land this gentleman, I mean, look, we don't get shocked anymore. What's shocking anymore? Nothing, but this is. I didn't see this one coming.
The other day, neither did we. We thought this was a potential leverage play by Bill Belichick for an NFL team. I think a lot of people thought that publicly. And then he came on our show on Monday and laid out exactly what he would do. It was like, oh, this guy is very well researched, obviously. That's Bill Belichick. And then we just talked to Lombardi, who's the general manager down there, multiple-time Super Bowl champion. And he was like, it was never about the win record for Bill in the NFL. He's team guy. He wants to go wherever he thinks he'll be able to build a team and develop a team. And he didn't think the NFL was necessarily like that for him anymore. This provides that opportunity. I'm excited to see if it works out. Are you just standing in the middle of a room right now screaming into a phone? What does that look like right there?
Yeah, I am. I'm standing here and I'm actually using Wiley's phone. I don't know if I can turn this around. I'll just do this. Come here. Look at this. Let me just show you guys around.
Yeah, please do.
Say hi to the McAfee Show.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you guys. Congratulations. Congratulations.
So here is Coach Belichick's spot where he will address the entire world.
Keep that water.
And then you have the North Carolina Chancellor, Lee Roberts, will be seated right here. I'm not a very good camera person.
No, you're great. You're doing great.
And then you have Athletics Director Bubba Cunningham right here. Okay. And then beside him, the legend, the great Steve Kirshner, who has been the sports information czar at the University of North Carolina since I was in diapers. He is a great man. The media is assembling as well. What are we, fellas? We're about 35 or 40 minutes from when this thing's supposed to start. So the people are making their way here again. I mean, it's an historic moment in this university's history, because I don't know the exact stats. One of y'all's folks back there in the back who have the computers and the brains, but I don't think they've had but one 10-win season since 1998.
Marty, thank you for taking time, brother. You look phenomenal. You look phenomenal.
Sir,
The hair.
Hair's perfect.
Look
at this.
Here's all
The tie.
The real kicker is what your suit jacket lining look. I can't imagine what Patty's suit jacket linings look like, but look at these motorcycle rider skulls.
Oh, two motorcycles. Is that in the pocket square too? You pull that up?
Yeah, oh yeah. I got a solid pocket square here. I was a little rushed this morning, so I'm not sure it even matches my tie.
No, it does.
But we won't talk about that part.
No, Bill won't point that out or anything. All right, we appreciate you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Marty Smith.
Yeah, Marty.